Peter, what is Lost and Found?
It originally started out as Lost Souls, because I would go to tag sales and find all of these images of people who obviously no longer had anybody who cared about them, so they were disposing of them at tag sales. For instance, this guy, I'm sure nobody knows.
Looks like a French scientist.
I was very moved by this picture. I thought there was great love and warmth in there, but I also thought of what they had been going through. This was a tiny little black and white picture. Just look at him, just the way they stand. I thought it was a wonderful image. I like the early Americanism of this tintype, which is what it was original, which to me says the pioneering spirit and all they went through, and yet now nobody has even the slightest idea who that might have been, or most of these people. This beautiful woman here, also from a black and white image.
She's gorgeous.
And she had jewelry, and I'm guessing from the costume that it was around 1880. So that was only 15 years after the end of the Civil War. And I'm sure her family were enslaved, some branch of it. And then in the more modern thing, I was interested in this guy in the tutu, that he would have that picture of himself taken so that you have the range.
Can you point to, the tutu up there? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I got it.
You have the range of this, which is around, I'm guessing 1870 was a tintype. And beaver hat from Hallowell, Maine. There's just strength in that picture, but who is he? And why was his picture discarded? And he must have had people who loved him, and a family and a life and trials and tribulations. I'm interested in the continuity that we all go through. We smile for the camera click and then we're gone. I mean, it's just perpetual. So I've come up to more modern times. For instance, this is probably late 1940s. I used to not go above 1940, but I'm into the 50s now with a couple of them. This family, I'm sure, is 1950s. I also I don't change the words. This was a little black and white about this big. I don't change the words or the writing. That's the original writing. And it said old lover, and I thought it was interesting that someone would take the time to write those words on this. And then there's another picture in another part of the exhibit where the man was torn out of the picture. And it was said married women, but clearly they weren't married anymore, so they tore up the picture. I found these pieces in an envelope with a whole bunch of other family pictures. So, and they're from all over. This is Russia. This is a conductor on the New York Central Railroad. This is a Salvation Army worker. That's a Czechoslovakian acrobat. There were a lot of ones that you find of people with disabilities. This I call Jack and his half-brother, which is probably not politically correct. But they are definitely brothers, but clearly this guy's got more trouble than this guy. This woman, I'm guessing, is probably the oldest one here. And no teeth, but I just found her face interesting, and that's what's left of her. But she's here, and she could never have imagined being in this situation with somebody using an instrument that she could never even thought of. I mean, I'm sure the photograph itself was extraordinary. She had behind her, which you can't see because I took it out, something that held her so she would be still for 15 minutes or whatever it was. You see it in some of the other ones, but she just couldn't have imagined it. And then I go to people like this and wonder who he hurt, either spiritually or physically, because I can't believe that somebody he didn't make feel guilty or bad or rotten or worse. And then I like the Iceman. That was, somebody said to me, oh, people won't even know what an Iceman is anymore. I remember ice being delivered. I thought this was interesting. just the people that will go into a booth and take a picture of themselves. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, to use the cliche. I mean, of thousands and thousands and thousands of images of people that I have. And I call them my lost souls. And that's why this section is called Lost and Found, because in a way I found them.
Thank you, Peter.
See, I can talk as much as you.